Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, wherever you are. It's great to be back with you. I hope you are doing well. I am your host. Please like, share, and subscribe because it does feed the AI algorithm. And so, in this episode, we're going to get into some comments that Bill Gates made recently. Actually, I think he made these a couple of weeks ago. Where, well, first we're gonna watch a short clip from the Jimmy Fallon show, and then we're going to get into a CNBC article. And so, uh, let's just go ahead and jump into it. While we're at it, let's do this. All right, here we go.
Everyone's talking about AI, and that's the big topic. Everyone's how's it going to take over, and all this stuff, and it's bad or it's good or we don't know. What are the pros and cons for, in layman's terms, for someone like me?
So I love the way it'll drive innovation forward, but I think it's a little bit unknown.
Yeah.
Will we be able to shape it? And so legit.
Will we be able to shape it? As much as insofar as we will be able to build AIs, but we cannot predict with any certainty how the market will respond to it. We can't do that. Hopefully, the government doesn't overregulate it where it becomes worthless like nuclear power. Hopefully, that doesn't happen. All right, let's continue this.
Legitimately, people are like, wow, this is a bit scary. It's completely new territory.
Definitely.
I mean, will we still need humans?
Not for most things.
I disagree. And if you've watched my episodes, you know I disagree. But we'll get into that here in a little bit. Let's let Bill finish speaking.
We'll decide.
I mean, hosting a talk show, definitely. You're gonna need, really?
Yeah.
Well, we'll decide, like baseball. We won't want to watch computers play baseball.
That's correct. Yeah.
And, so there'll be some things that we reserve for ourselves. But in terms of making things and moving things and growing food, over time, those will be basically solved problems.
Yeah.
He's not wrong. If you look at I'll make this real quick. The agricultural revolution, agricultural industry is still around. It has just turned into something different, but it's still around. Now it uses vast amounts of technology in that industry. What will the agricultural industry look like in the future? It's still going to have humans. I mean, there'll be a lot more robots, a lot more technology. It'll be optimized. It'll become more efficient, but there'll still be humans involved in that industry. So I don't really disagree with Bill too much, but he's a smart guy. Obviously, he's extremely successful. He probably knows what He probably knows what he's talking about, and he's probably right, and I'm probably wrong. That's probably the way this is going. Let's jump into the article here. Real quick, I was going to say he's right. People don't want to watch robots play baseball, and it's the same thing with rock stars. People don't want to. I have this hypothesis. I call it the Motley Crue hypothesis. And if you know anything about Motley Crue, the band from the 80s and 90s, rock band, their partying in Los Angeles is notorious. If you go read stories about them and them hanging out with women, that's just something AI is not going to do. So I don't think that's going away anytime soon. Especially in a free market society, that's going to hang around. All right, so this is from CNBC News. Bill Gates, within 10 years, AI will replace many doctors and teachers. Humans won't be needed for most things. I respectfully disagree, sir. This is from March 26. Let's see here. So over the next decade, article starts here. Over the next decade, advances in artificial intelligence will mean that humans will no longer be needed for most things in the world, says Bill Gates. Of course, like I said, I disagree. Let's jump down here. Let's continue here. But the quote here, with AI over the next decade, that will become free, commonplace. Great medical advice, great tutoring, Gates said. So nothing is obviously for free in the world. You don't get anything for free. You have to give something to get something. But I think he's going, I I don't think he's using he doesn't have the same endpoint that I do. But I think he's going in the same direction. And that is, if we solve the energy problem, I've kind of talked about this in previous episodes, and think about the energy problem from in Star Trek. Gene Roddenberry just assumes that they solved that problem. So that will be abundant resources. So people will no longer have to think about energy anymore. Energy will be abundant. And if you look at the energy needs and energy consumption in the Western world over the past few decades, and probably even the last century and a half, that kind of makes sense. The more energy we get, the less impoverished we become. Right. So that's how I look at it, as in tending towards free, but nothing's ever really going to be free, so to speak. I want to jump down here a little bit. Let's see down here. Let's continue right here. The debate over how, let me get that. Sorry about that. The debate over how exactly most humans will fit into this AI-powered future is ongoing. True. Some experts say AI will help humans work more efficiently rather than replacing them together, and spur economic growth that leads to more jobs being created. Of course, that is the camp I reside in. That's my camp. AI is going to make us more efficient. Sure, AI is going to create or destroy some jobs, but AI is also going to create a lot more jobs, and it's going to expand the market. It's going to increase wealth. Sure, rich people are going to make a lot more money, but a lot of people on the bottom are going to keep moving up in the middle class. Middle class is going to keep moving up. So everyone's just going to have a lot more, because that's the way it's trending. It is the case that rich people are going to get richer. True. But that is one part of the story. That is not the total story. So that's my position based off of some data. Let's continue here. Others like, so this is the contrasting view. Others like Microsoft AI CEO Mustafa Suleyman counter that continued technological advancements over the next several years will change what most jobs look like across nearly every industry and have a hugely destabilizing impact on the workforce. I agree with him, but I think ultimately we disagree. In other words, I agree it's going to be destabilizing. Again, it's going to destroy some jobs. It's going to create a lot more jobs. Jobs are going to look different. Yes, of course, jobs look different today with computers than they did without computers. And like I've said in previous episodes, there are jobs that people still work that don't have computers. There's lots of jobs that people work that don't have computers. So there's going to be a lot of jobs that just people don't use AI. There's nothing they need it for. Unless thing right here, I'm going to go down here, but don't worry, I'm going to post this down below so you'll have access to this even after I'm finished with this video. So it says here, AI's development does come with understandable and valid concerns, Gates wrote in a 2023 blog post. Today's top of the line AI programs are rife with errors and prone to enabling the spread of falsehoods online. For example, exactly. Data in, data out. Put false data in, get false data out. Remember, AI is a probability machine. It's built on mathematical statistics, so it's never going to be 100% certain. So I'll leave you with that. Just a couple final questions. And again, I'll post these questions in the YouTube description below. Do you think AI should be allowed to replace human professionals in medicine or education? Or perhaps you think those professionals should be able to utilize AI? Second question, how do we balance innovation with protecting jobs and human dignity? I say, let the market do its thing. The market is really good at allocating resources. We can't control the market. Third question, if you had the chance, would you build your own AI startup today? That's an interesting question. I do think about that. Anyway, were there any questions you think I should have asked? Anything I missed? drop your thoughts in the comments below. I'd love to hear from you. Let's keep the conversation going. And remember, like, share, and subscribe, because it really does feed the AI algorithm and it does help the channel. I will see you in the next episode.